Globalism, not globalism.
I am not a slave. I am a free citizen.
There should be no Federal Reserve System.
Only America first.
End all of these wars.
America is trying to play empire. We want everything released, and you're actively covering it up. It's not America first to be pushing our influence in areas where it shouldn't be. We're run by people that don't understand what they're doing and don't understand the ramifications of the policies they're enacting. That's an incredibly dangerous situation. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Quest for Clarity podcast. I'm your host, Nolan. Thank you so much for being here today, and we're going to try and make this a quick episode. I'm sorry it's going to be a little shorter today, but that is because we're on a kind of a time crunch. Later today, in just a couple of hours, Vladimir Putin, of course, president of Russia, and Donald Trump, president of the United States, will be meeting in Alaska to discuss the potential of a ceasefire peace deal in the Ukraine-Russia war, which has been going on since 2022. This is an absolute bombshell, huge development in this conflict because it is the first time since the war broke out under the leadership of President Joe Biden that the United States and Russia, both the presidents of those countries, have actually met to discuss the potential of a peace deal to end the war, which on its own is just shocking that our leaders never reached out to our leaders and kind of the West as a whole, as well as Vladimir Putin, never reached out to discuss a peaceful resolution to this war. But it's particularly egregious for someone like Joe Biden, the president of the United States, kind of the leader of the West when he was president, to have not at all wanted a peaceful resolution, seemingly, to this war. But that aside, we're here today, and we have a meeting scheduled for later today in Alaska between Putin and Trump. And I want to go over some of my predictions for what I think is going to happen in this meeting. This morning, I'm kind of feeling a little bit optimistic. I think that Donald Trump is going to go into this, and I'm very hopeful that he will be doing whatever he can to get to a peaceful resolution here. This war in particular, he, since the campaign, has been very focused on the messaging around this, being very focused on peace and not prolonging this war beyond where it's necessary. That is why I'm very hopeful for this. I think Donald Trump is going to be willing to potentially acknowledge the fact that that peace is only possible here if Ukraine acknowledges that Putin has taken parts of eastern Ukraine. As unfortunate and as upsetting as that is, we cannot afford anymore in the West to be delusional about the fact that Putin has taken that land and that it's very unlikely that Ukraine, without full-blown Western military intervention, that Ukraine can get that land back. It's just not, especially Crimea, which for some reason some war hawks are still convinced that Ukraine can get back. It's unreal. But I'm hoping that Donald Trump will not feel pressured by the globalists, by the war hawks that want this war to continue. And I think that we can get to some sort of peaceful resolution here, that Donald Trump will say Putin can have parts of that land in eastern Ukraine. And there's been even signaling. Putin was signaling earlier this week that he would be willing to acknowledge maybe Donetsk and Luhansk with a corridor to Crimea. And that may be it. If that is a deal that's on the table and the United States doesn't take that and Ukraine doesn't take that, that's suicidal. That is what we have to take at this point. Because acknowledge the facts on the ground. Right now, Russia is going to win that war if things continue in the exact same path that they are on. It has become a war, just everyone's slowly chipping away. And Ukraine is losing lots of men. And the fact that this peace offer even came up is a gift to the West, and the West should take it. This is an incredible off-ramp, and Donald Trump has the opportunity today to take it and do probably the biggest thing he's ever done in either term and avoid direct conflict between the United States and Russia. And that's, for humanity's sake, that is the biggest threat that we face, is nuclear war between 90% of the world's nuclear stockpile. So if Trump can do that, absolutely one of the best things in his life that he's ever done, if he can do this today. So big deal today. And later on today, I'm going to have coverage right after this meeting gets out. As soon as we have word of maybe some news that's broken from it, or we have instant reaction to some of the footage of the day, the handshakes, the press conferences, I will come out later today with another video with a live reaction, with an instant reaction, I should say, of the actions of the day. So thank you guys so much for watching. I feel somewhat optimistic about this, and I'll see you guys later with my reaction. So have a good day.